Hello friends, welcome back to my video series on analysis of determinate structures. So we are in the process of solving, or we are in the process of finding the deflection in case of trusses using Castigliano's principle. Now we will take this truss. We have already solved this truss in my previous videos using virtual work principle, and we have found what was the vertical deflection at point D. Now we'll take the same truss, and I need to find what is the vertical deflection at point D, but using Castigliano's principle. So the procedure remains same. So what I will do, I will take the same truss and I will apply a load P here, okay, or you can apply a load F also. I will apply a load P, but see to it that these loads are not removed. I am repeating again, you have to apply a load P at joint D and see to it that the original loads are retained on the structure. I am not removing the original loads, but at the same time I am applying a virtual load of say P at joint D. In case of virtual work principle, what we used to do is we used to remove the actual real loads and we used to apply a dummy unit load at joint D. But in case of Castigliano's theorem, we should retain the original loads, but instead we should actually apply the dummy load, or I can say virtual load at point D, and we should proceed. And how we have to prepare the table and all, I will tell you in the further steps. So now I will take the same truss and I will apply the load P at joint D. Okay, now I have taken the truss and I have applied a load P at joint D, and I am retaining the original loads also. So next I am finding the reactions here. Now you can see here 0.5p and this 0.5p is because of this load P, and this 7.5 and this 27.5 is because of the original loads of 15 and 20 kilonewtons. So this 7.5 and 27.5 we know we have calculated in the same truss but using virtual work principle. Now I will start with joint D and find the forces in each and every member of the truss in terms of P. So let us start with joint A and draw the free body diagram. Okay, I have drawn the free body diagram of joint A. So this is the reaction at A of 0.5p plus 7.5, and I'm assuming force in the member AD as compression and force in the member AB as tension. So let us start with applying equilibrium equation. I'm applying the first equilibrium equation, summation of Fy equal to 0, taking all the forces in the upward direction as positive. So in that case 0.5p plus 7.5, this is 1, and AD, since it is inclined, it will have the components like this. So I'm getting minus FAD into sine of 53.13 equal to 0. Now when I solve this, I'm getting FAD as, okay, I made a mistake here. It is not 53.533, it is actually 36.866. So when I do that, I'm getting a value of FAD as 0.833p plus 12.5. So I'm getting a positive sign. It means that my assumption of AD of compression is correct. Similarly, I will apply the next equilibrium equation, summation of Fy equal to 0. Sorry, I should apply that other equilibrium equation, summation of Fx equal to 0. Taking all the forces in this direction as positive. For this free body diagram, I will end up with this kind of an equation, FAB positive, and it should be minus FAD. FAD is already known to me, 0.833 plus P plus 12.5. This is one force multiplied by cos of 36.86 equal to 0. So this FAB is this FAB. And regarding FAD, it is minus FAD cos of 36.86, but FAD value we already know. FAD is 0.833p plus 12.5 times cos of 36.86. Now I can solve this to get the value of FAB as, so I'm getting it as 0.67p plus 10. So this also I'm getting positive. It means AB had assumed it as tension and it is correct. Now similarly, let me go to joint B and draw the free body diagram. Okay, this is a free body diagram of joint B, and you can see that at joint B we have a real load of 15 kilonewton. Force in the member AB is tension of 0.67p plus 10, and I'm assuming a force in the member BD as also tension and force in the member BC also as tension. Now by inspection itself, without even applying the equilibrium equations, I can say that FBC is equal to 0.67p plus 10 and FBD is equal to 15. So I will write it down here. Even you can apply the equilibrium equations of summation of Fx equal to 0 and Fy equal to 0, and you can verify these things. 0.67p plus 10 and it is tension. FBD is equal to 15 kilonewtons, just a 15 kilonewtons, and that too it is under tension. So we have done joint B. Till now we have solved this member, this member is done, and this member is done. Now the only left out members are this, this and this. Next I will go to joint C and draw the free body diagram. Okay, so this is free body diagram of joint C. At C we can see that there is a load of 20 kilonewtons, and force in the member BC is already known to us, which is tensile of 0.67p plus 10. Force in the member CE, I am assuming it as tension, and force in the member CD also I am assuming it as a compressive force, and this angle is 36.86 degrees. Let us start with the first equilibrium equation. Let me apply equilibrium equation of summation of Fx equal to 0, taking all the forces in this direction as positive. So FBC is in this direction. I should put it as minus 0.67p plus 10, and FCD will have a component like this and like this. For FCD it will be plus FCD cos of 36.86 degrees equal to 0. Now I can solve for FCD. I will get the value of FCD as, so I'm getting FCD as 0.833p plus 12.5. So I'm getting a positive answer. It means CD, I had assumed it as compression, so it is correct. I will apply the next equilibrium equation, summation of Fy equal to 0. All the forces in the upward direction as positive. 20 is downwards, so I should write it as minus 20 plus FCE, and this will be minus FCD, but I already know the value of FCD, 0.833p plus 12.5 sine of 36.86 equal to 0. When I solve this, the only unknown is FCE. I will get the value of FCE as, so I will get 0.5p plus 27.5. This also I'm getting it as positive. It means my assumption of tension is correct. At C we have calculated this and this. The only left out will be at D. Let me go to joint D now and draw the free body diagram. Okay, I have drawn the free body diagram of joint D. Now by inspection, if you try to see these inclined forces, both the forces are having the same values. and if I try to find the horizontal component of these two forces, these are like this. So I can say that these two will cancel with each other. When I take summation of fx equal to 0 equation, the only thing which will be there will be FDE. So I can straight away say that FDE is 0. So it is a 0 force member. Now with this, we have found all the forces in all the members of the truss. Let us summarize them and put them in a tabular format. Okay, I have summarized all the forces in such a table. Now I will explain this table. So these are all the members, and these are the forces in all the members of the truss when you apply a point load of P at D. So these are all the forces which just now we found using method of joints. Now this is dou Fi by dou P. It means I am actually partially differentiating this whole term with respect to P. Now if I partially differentiate with respect to P, so 0.6667 P plus 10 will become 0.667, right? And 10, the partial differentiation of 10 with respect to will be 0 because it doesn't contain any P term. Now similarly this one, similarly this one, and when you see here this 15, so when I partially differentiate 15 with respect to P, I will end up with 0. Similarly this term, and this is 0. Now here when I come to this column represents the partial differentiation of Fi with respect to P. Now when I come to this column, you should observe carefully here. This Fi is when P equal to 0. Now why I am putting P equal to 0 here is, in the original structure you can see we were actually finding the vertical deflection at D. So I applied a point load of P at D. But in the original structure there was no any other force at D in the direction of P. Let me repeat once again. In the original structure there was no any point load at joint D in the direction of P which you have applied. So that's why I am putting P equal to 0. So when I put P equal to 0 in this equation, so 0.667 into 0 plus 10 will be 10. Similarly all these things. So minus sign once again indicates that the member is in compression. This is the length of each and every member, and this column represents the product of this and this. So this will be the one, and this is the summation of this column. Now I will write the Castigliano's equation here. Okay, this is the Castigliano's equation. So instead of P, we derived this equation with respect to F. It doesn't matter at all. Now I know this is a summation and AE is constant, so I can directly write it as 198.75 divided by AE. A is constant, and since I'm getting positive sign, it means that the deflection is downwards. So this is how you can find the vertical deflection at joint D. So let me just go to the problem wherein I solved the same problem using the virtual work principle. So this was that problem where we solved using virtual work principle, and we got the same answer of 198.75 divided by E. And here also I'm getting the same thing, 198.75 divided by E in terms of meters, and the deflection is downwards. So friends, this is how we can apply the Castigliano's theorem to find the deflection at point in a truss. So we'll see some more examples in the next video. Till then, thank you. Bye.